Hi guys and welcome. Today I want to show you some footage of the cylinder heads I have laying around. This is my new stage 2 cylinder head, but I also have the original head and the Cooper S head. So I thought it was a nice opportunity to show you the differences. This is the original head of my mainstream Cooper. These are based on the MG Metro heads, only they have smaller inlet valves and they have the brimflow style exhaust valves as standard. Now this is an S head, an S style head, and as you can see they have some larger diameter inlet valves which will aid in better flow, better intake flow. I do think it's worth noting that the later castings of the mainstream Cooper have a good valve throat design which really benefits airflow in its own way. So to be honest, I would not bet any money on which in stock form is the better flowing casting between these two. Now looking at the stage 2 head, the first thing that stands out for me is the shape of the chamber. There's always a lot of talk about porting and polishing, but people tend to forget that the most power can be made in the chamber itself. So opening up the areas around the valve really improves the flow, and this head has quite some work in that area. Removing the guide bosses that you can see here also benefits performance, but do not underestimate a lightly modified head with only modified chambers and a good multi-angle valve job. Now this is just to give you a quick look inside the ports of the heads. This is the original head. You can also see that this head has the location rings on the inlet ports, which are used to locate the inlet manifold. When you fit the stage 1 kit to this head, which doesn't use the location ring, I would advise to modify the inlet port so that the step where the ring locates into is no longer there, as this step with its 90-degree angle can hurt the airflow coming into the head. Here you can see the step still slightly visible on the left and the right side of the port, so some more blending could be beneficial, but this is already a lot better. Here you can see that the outer exhaust ports are not really symmetrical, and this supposedly helps a little bit in airflow coming out of the engine. The original head had single valve springs, and as you can see the S-style head has dual valve springs. Now this may come to a surprise to some, but the Stage 2 head has upgraded single valve springs, as the builder and I agreed that I did not need the double springs for my application and driving style. Now for the technical geeks among us, I did some measurements of the size of the ports. What you can see here is that the inlet port of the standard head is slightly smaller than the one on the S head, but this has mainly to do with the location ring that the standard head has. And I also think it's worth noting that a smaller inlet port isn't really bad in all situations because it will keep the airflow high, so it could really be beneficial for torque on low RPMs. What surprised me, however, was the fact that the outer exhaust ports of the S head were slightly smaller than the standard head of the mainstream Cooper. And as you can see on the Stage 2 head, the ports are all a little bit bigger, the inlet ports are matched to the inlet manifold I have, and the exhaust ports were optimal for the exhaust system that I have on my engine. Now, to be honest, I don't think that these measurements mean anything at all, because in the end, it is all a matter of balance between all the different modifications of the head in total. So the diameter of the ports, how much work has been done inside of the ports, how much done has been on the valve throats, on the valves itself, on the exhaust ports, on the exhaust chamber. And I really do believe that just opening up these ports without doing all the other modifications will not be beneficial for engine performance at all. Because, like I said before, the smaller ports will give you a higher airflow, and that's really a good thing for torque. And torque is what ultimately accelerates the cars. So for me, it's all about the balance of all the modifications and not just looking at how much an intake valve is modified, or how much a port is modified, or how much a chamber is polished. But again, this is just my opinion, and everybody is entitled on their own. Anyways, thanks for watching, and in the next video I will show you how the car actually drives with this new cylinder head and with the new exhaust system I have bought for the car. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.